So imagine with me for a second that you've been told a story your entire life. It has been a story that's passed down from generations, and it's been told the same for thousands of years. And we know that it's been told the same for thousands of years because we have the ancient manuscripts that support the story that's been told. And then one day somebody walks up to you and they're like, actually, this is the way that the story really goes. And they tell you something that's completely different than what you've heard your entire life. This is exactly what Islam does. It's what happened like 1,500 years ago when Muhammad supposedly had his revelation, and then from that came the Quranic text. We see in the Quran that I'm not talking a few, every single person that is in the Quran that's also in the Bible, we're talking Old Testament, New Testament, the character is completely different. It's not the same character. Their stories, their identities, the very important details that can't just, casually change from one book to the other are completely different. It's a plagiarism. It's a rewrite. Well, the biggest issue with that Muslim people are faced with, even though many of them don't realize this, and if they do, they have an answer for it that's not good. But the biggest issue is this. In the Quran, the Quranic text supports the biblical text, referring to the people of the book and saying that those who God came to first, the Christians, the Jews, well, technically the Jews, that God first spoke to them, and it's referring to the biblical text. Those are the former. And then now this is a new revelation that's been given to Muhammad. So the biggest issue, the problem that they're faced with is this. So if God spoke to them first, and, he has this interaction with Adam and Abraham and Isaac and Ishmael and Jesus, whatever, why are their stories now completely different? What happened? And so logically, the Muslims come to the conclusion, even though that the Quran doesn't actually say this, they'll pull out texts and try to twist it and say that this is actually, this supports the claims that the Bible has been changed, it's been altered, it's been corrupted, but it hasn't. And we have these ancient manuscripts that back up the stories of these people. And so many Muslims who they've gone their entire life raised up in the Muslim faith. And if they were asked a question like this, that's the answer they'd give you. Well, the Bible was corrupted. There's no evidence. There's no proof of this. And I find it fascinating that these people don't realize that these ancient manuscripts completely validate these characters and their stories and their details. And their stories and their details are carried from Genesis to Revelation. So you have stories about people that were told for thousands of years, and then, in the New Testament, some hundreds of years, and then all of a sudden, the Quran comes and it completely changes everything about them. Everything about them. Oh, and you know what? God has no son. Jesus didn't die on the cross. Don't follow the lineage of Isaac. Follow the lineage of Ishmael.